And so there's this like hyper obsession with diet and how if I only ate healthy, I would actually be toned. It's the diet culture, right? So what happens a lot of the time is diet alone will not help you get that look. Another problem with diet culture. Have you ever wondered what successful people have that you don't? What are they doing that you might not be doing? How are they so fit, toned, and healthy while you're not? You ever wondered what you might be missing? Hi, my name is Mo Gayas. Essentially, I'm a kid who's obsessed with winning and sharing the lessons with you because growing up, I wish I had someone like me to help me out. On the Healthy Systems podcast, you will learn one main idea, system from each episode that you can use in your life, whether that is financial, relationships, fitness, and wellness. So if you're a millennial, you're hyper ambitious, this podcast is for you because the more systematic your life is, the more you can win and not waste time. So join me on your journey to building a life of healthy systems for yourself. Welcome to Healthy Systems Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Mo, and today's episode is fitness related, something that I'm sure a lot of you have wondered, something I got asked at least 3 times this week alone, which is the topic of can you get toned with just eating healthy? Can you get toned without exercising? Can you get toned without really paying attention to the exercise part? Can you just follow a diet and get there, right? And the answer is a little bit complicated, but the short answer is no, based on the definition of the word toned. So, what does tone actually mean? What a lot of people don't understand is that in the world of fitness training, as trainers, nutritionists, we don't use the word toned a lot. It's a term that only general population uses because that's the word they like, right? So what happens a lot of the time is people are like, oh, man, I don't want to gain a lot of muscle. I just want to get toned. And it's like, okay, the word toned by its definition means getting tighter, right? So if you look at your midsection, for example, your stomach area, what you find is you can look at two people, for example. A person that has a more tighter midsection, you can almost see their abs, male or female. And on the other side, you have somebody that has more softer midsection, right? Like also known as belly fat. So which one is more toned? Well, obviously the person who has a more tighter look is more toned. And the definition there is toned comes from having more lean muscle mass. So that person that looks more toned, they not only have less body fat, but they also have more lean muscle mass. Okay. So remember that more lean muscle mass will help you achieve that toned look. I used to say this earlier in my career a lot to my clients, which was most of us are 10 pounds of fat and 5 pounds of gaining lean muscle away from looking the way we want to look. So a lot of the time, if we lose 10 pounds of fat and you gain 5 pounds of lean muscle, I promise you, you won't look like a bodybuilder. You won't even look crazy, ginormous. You would just look very toned. You look tighter. You have a more tighter look to you, right? Your midsection, your legs, your arms, everything will just look tighter. And that is the look that most people want. Even when I used to work with celebrities, a lot of the time for movies, right? You look at movie actresses, and when they show their physique or when the reveal happens, they just have more of a toned midsection. And that toned midsection comes from the fact that she has not only does she have lower body fat percentage, but also she has been strength training, resistance training to gain muscle, right? Most actor and actresses, their whole workout routine is not just cardio. It's not just Pilates. Their workout routine actually involves lifting weights, kettlebells, barbells, dumbbells. You'd be surprised. Most of these actors, their workout routines are very much heavily involved in strength training. So if you look at their workouts, a lot of the time they are doing more hypertrophic ranges, right? So what that means is when they go to the gym, they're doing a lot more of 4 to 5 sets for 8 to 10 to 12 reps at a time, right? So their workout routines are very much like more similar to actually what I would call a strength athlete training than anything else. So that's something to remember when you look at those actors and actresses, regardless of what they say in their interviews, they achieve those physiques by actually doing a lot of strength training, by eating a lot of protein, by really keeping track of their nutrition. And one thing that I feel like they all leave out is they're also on enhanced drugs. Most of the actors, imagine, I feel like everybody says, yeah, they're very anti drugs or PEDs or steroids, and I am too. But imagine you're getting paid $25 million to play this role, and you have to be in an amazing shape in the next 40 days or next 6 months, right? 25 million on one side, or taking some, like, it's, a lot of those people, like, they are enhanced. A lot of those actors are enhanced, but whenever they get interviewed, they always just tell you, oh yeah, it's just discipline, dedication. Yes, yes, that stuff is a given. You have to have a lot of that. But at the same time, going back to our topic of getting toned. So when you say you want to get toned, remember the toned look will not just happen from going on some diet. It will not just happen from being in a caloric deficit. It will not just happen by trying intermittent fasting or ketogenic diet or vegan or Oprah's diet or whatever diet. It's going to come from combining both the proper nutrition, right? Any diet that puts you in a caloric deficit would do. And then it would come from actually doing strength training, resistance training, right? So it's a double equation. On one side, you are gaining muscle. On the other side, you're reducing body fat. And at the end of the day, you do that for 3 to 6 months, depending on your starting point. Everybody's a little different, but you do that for 3 to 6 months, watching your nutrition intake, being in a caloric deficit. And on the other side, actually doing resistance training, proper resistance training, pushing yourself, training good, right? Training well with proper form. What's going to happen is you'll start having that toned look. So now the question I get asked is like, man, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to exercise. Can I just do the diet? Because if you look around, diets are more popular than exercise programs all day, every day. Everybody and their aunt is always trying a new diet. You can't even go to a dinner party without somebody mentioning what new diet they're on, right? Oh, Optavia, this, that. Everybody's on a diet. And so there's this like hyper obsession with diet and how if I only ate healthy, I would actually be toned. It's the diet culture, right? So what happens a lot of the time is diet alone will not help you get that look. And another problem with diet culture or nutrition only solutions is you'll be able to lose the fat, but since you wouldn't have put on any lean muscle mass, you won't be able to keep that fat off in the long run, right? So if you look at people that have been in shape for 8 plus years, for 10 plus years, they do not just follow a diet. They follow the diet, whatever diet they like, but they also follow more of a very good resistance training routine. Summer is about 3 months away. So if you want to look your very best this summer, because chances are you've tried in the past and you're like, I'm going to get myself in shape. I'm going to keep myself accountable. I'm going to get this workout program. And then you just stick with it for a couple of days and then it goes away. And that's not your fault. That's actually just lack of support. So at Training with the Titans, who is actually sponsoring this podcast, Training with the Titans, this is what we do. We're health and fitness coaches. We're also nutrition coaches. And currently we're taking on 5 clients. So if you're listening to this episode, all you got to do, if you're interested in learning more, all you got to do is just DM me, direct message me the word Healthy Systems Summer 2024. Just four words, Healthy Systems. So I know you're coming from the podcast, and then Summer 2024. So then I can give you the proper information. We can perhaps get on a call and get to know you better, get to know your goals better. But if you're in that phase and you actually want this summer to be the summer where you look your best, you feel your best, then just take advantage of this opportunity and just DM me the word Healthy Systems Summer 2024. And you can DM me on Facebook and Instagram. My handles are the same. It's just Mo Ghias, Ghias. And then I'll take care of you. So they have a workout program associated with a good lifestyle-based nutrition approach. So at the end of the day, for you, what I want you to remember is if the goal is to get toned, do not ever be afraid of resistance training. So the other day I was talking to a client on this exact topic, and she just did not have time to go to the gym. Very understandable concern. I totally get it. So for her, we had her buy some dumbbells at home, some kettlebells at home, and we started off with some body weight exercises to get her foundational strength back. And then over time, we'll have her do more strength exercises and then do that for another 3 to 6 months. And then eventually we'll get her into the gym if she has time then. But overall, you don't even have to go to the gym, but I want you to be very open to resistance training because the body that you want is on the other side of the actions that you're not doing, right? So whatever actions you're afraid to take, you're afraid to, you know, eat more protein, you're afraid to exercise properly, you're afraid to step a foot in the gym, you're afraid to lift weights because your, you know, fat uncle said it'll make you bulky. It just, those are all myths. It's not how it works. A lot of the time, even when you look at me, right? I've been training for what, 8+ years now. And in all honesty, I look like an average guy. I don't look like Mr. Olympia. I don't look like I have big arms and big legs. I look pretty average. In all things considered. So at the end of the day, even if you go all in on strength training and you lift weights every day, I promise you, you're not going to look like a bodybuilder. Bodybuilders or whatever look you're worried about, you just won't get there because that stuff doesn't happen because you decided to lift some, 20-pound dumbbells for 3 weeks. You just will never, ever get there because that's not even natural. The amount of work those guys have to do, first of all, they train for 20+ years. But second, they're on very, very enhanced drugs, steroids, and also their whole life is working out. Most of them do 2 to 3 hour workouts at least twice a day sometimes, right? So you and I will never look like that. It's not, we're half of us don't even have the genetics for it. So please do not be afraid of resistance training. Resistance training is by far your best friend. The more you resistance train, the more cheat meals you can get away with. That's another bonus that I feel like most trainers don't talk about, right? So if you just do cardio, good luck getting away with some dessert. You won't, like, because cardio, the only purpose of cardio is obviously to improve your cardiovascular health. And that's the only one I like. But the other one is to burn calories. So if you're just focusing on burning calories, you won't go far, right? The goal is to actually gain muscle. The goal is to actually put on some lean muscle mass. So not only when you wear a dress, let's say you're somebody that goes to, you're a woman and you like dressing good and you wear dresses to events, you want that really good look, a tight, a good figure. That's only going to come from really proper strength training, right? You want the curves, you want, the body fat to go down. Then I want you to get in the gym and start lifting some weights because it's going to really help you not only look good, but it's also lifting weights has ginormous amounts of health benefits, a lot of health benefits. If you are somebody, lately we've been getting more people inquiring about our services who recently visited their doctors and the doctor was like, hey, you're pre-diabetic. And these people aren't even that overweight, but they're still in that overweight category, right? And well, what's our best defense for insulin resistance? Freaking strength training, right? The more weights you lift, not only does it help you with the whole diabetes concern, but also it helps you with your bone density. So after the age of 30, now your bone density is also going down. After the age of 30, your natural metabolism is also slowing down. So at the end of the day, you have nothing, I mean, nothing to lose by doing strength training. Obviously, there's always that injury concern. And you can avoid that by just working with a professional trainer like myself, or you can avoid that by just not going too heavy, right? Just taking it easy, learning the movements properly, and think of it as a skill, right? I remember when I first learned how to deadlift properly, I kept hurting myself. So I used really light weight and I practiced the movement for at least, I remember, a month before I perfected it. And then I went and did competitions and powerlifting and ended up winning. But the point being is, I want you to look at it as a skill. Most of you listening to this are professionals. Some of you are engineers. Some of you are just best of the best in your own craft. And I can tell you, and I'm sure you will agree with this, whatever skill you have in your career, it did not just come from doing it one day or 2 days or a week. It took months and years of learning it, right? I have some clients that are doctors and they had to go through at least 12 years of training before they became an attending. So at the end of the day, look at strength training as a skill. The first day you go into the gym, it's not going to be the best. It's not supposed to be. The first week is not going to be the best. It might even take you a month before you start realizing what you've been doing. But it's okay. That's how most skills are. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it. But that's what I tell myself. So whenever I try something the first time and it's not as good, I'm like, man, I just know one thing, that when I do it 1,000 times, it'll get a lot easier. The first one is not going to be as good, and it's okay, right? So don't pass go because you just didn't have a good time the first time. It's okay. It's supposed to be like that. So hopefully by listening to this podcast, you understand the importance of strength training and how diet alone will not help you get toned. You need to add resistance training to your routine. And if all of this seems too confusing to you, shoot me a DM on Instagram at MoGaius, and then I can look at your specific situation, what your lifestyle is like, and we can talk more about how we can help you. But overall, hope this helps, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Healthy Systems podcast. I really appreciate you for tuning in today. Now, here are 2 ways I can help you for free. One, you can join our free Facebook community by just going to this link, bit.ly/Titan Facebook group. Just type that into your browser and then answer 2 questions, and then we'll let you into our Facebook community where you'll meet other people, as well as we have a lot of free resources in terms of meal plans, workouts, all kinds of stuff in there. Second way I can help you for free is if you follow me on Instagram at MoGaius, MoE, as in George, H as in horse, I as in India, A as in apple, S as in Sam. Follow me there and then shoot me a message with the word Healthy Systems, and then I'll be sure to send you a free gift. Other than that, keep listening in, and I really appreciate you.